these people, given the massive work, the type of arrangement, the inequalities of this and that, they did a great job. For the first time, Kenya voted almost six presidents equivalent. If you look at it, it's massive. So give them a credit. Don't just actually trash them as if they did not do anything. That guy, the chairman, and Oswago, these guys and the rest of the commissioners tried their level best. And at the end of the day, look, I don't want to predict this because I usually predict what comes true, and it has always vindicated me. These guys will take the show. They did a great job, and they should be given a good, clap instead of condemnation. If you condemn this man, in fact, if I were the type of job that I saw there, I would have resigned very fast, because it creates a lot of ulcers. Everybody came in the hall with different views. There was a time when Benji almost did not want to take water, and he was annoyed because the election. Yes, there was plenty of water around there, but we kept on. But let me say one thing he has said, which I have to give a credit, that at the end of the day, it is Kenya, the Kenya that you must think about, and in the future, I think, to give you a clue, I think Kenya should think of proportional representation status type of election, where these inequalities will go away. Like what we did in Uganda in 1969, 1+3 method of Dr. Milton Obote, so that MP from Kitale has got to stand in Mombasa to be called a national MP, because that will wipe out tribalism. That's all I ask.
Yes, Dismas.
Let's follow me to
make your closing remarks.
Please allow me another 3 minutes. For me, I think what maybe Kenya needs to do is to adopt a college system of voting like the US, so that when you're if you're running for presidency, you know that if you're going to campaign in Kenya, Kiambu has got 10 votes, Kisii has got 2 votes, Kakamega has got 3 votes. That will give Kenyans a peace of mind. And going back to what the new president is supposed to do, whether it's Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta or Mr. Raila Odinga, they must have a clean break. They say bye-bye to corruption, mediocrity, and impunity, yes, and open the space for everybody. Because as we said before, you do not need to know the PS for public works for you to get a contract. No. You should be able, if you see an advert in the newspaper, you fill the tender forms. You should
apply and you should stand a chance.
And you get a chance. For me, that's what I think Benji is talking about. That what's going to be, how do you explain this to your sons and daughters? I mean, when you think about posterity, how do you secure it for them? Is whereby you are able to access opportunities irrespective of your political interest. That even if you are a diehard supporter of a CORD and a Jubilee wins and you are a contractor, your business will not be paralyzed for the next 10 years. I think for me that's what Kenyans need to have that peace of mind.
That's very wise indeed.
We do appreciate that it was a big task to do all this voting, to compile and everything, but I am one big advocate of excellence in this country. I believe that the culture of mediocrity and the culture of lethargy has done us in as a country. I believe that the public service attitude can be better. As you've read in many books, it is only a small percentage of those in government that actually work. The vast majority spending a lot of time reading newspapers, gossiping, etc. Through a company called Code Inc., the Canadian government was able to put a hand into the IEBC during the procurement process of last year or the year before. That company eventually, Latif, I know you do a lot of investigative reporting, went into liquidation after, and of course metamorphed into the Electoral Systems International. The government of Fiji then exposed Code as a member of the Canadian intelligence arm, not just a company per se. 4G Identity of India came in, did the bidding, won, but was disqualified on a technicality that they had not filled something on the bid bond, etc. Upon which then the same Code guys went and brought in a company called Safran Morpho, a French firm, to supply the kits for the BVR. Some of the things that were wrong with the entire procurement process was changing figures all the time, doubling and tripling, no testing of the kits, etc.
Benji, I need to stop you here.
It's very important.
You're going into the no. Yeah, I know. But you're going into the merits and demerits of the entire process, which we've already passed that. Let's do the closing remarks.
Yes, we're closing by saying that Safran in 2001 had supplied kits that failed in Nigeria. And so when the BVID fails on the polling day, I was an observer, when we had issues with the BVR, when the chairman comes out and definitively says that that voter turnout is 70%, and I'm on air saying I suspect it to be 80, and then it comes out to be 87. All we're saying is that the culture of mediocrity, of being okay with okay, has continued to do us in. We wanted an election where whoever wins, you laugh, as happened with Musila in Kitui and Charity Ngilu. By 10 o'clock in the morning, the win was clear and obvious, and you embrace and you move forward.
Was it
But
conducted
now,
by the same IEBC?
it was conducted by the same IBC,
Okay.
but then there was a
Give us your
nutrient,
closing
perhaps.
Give
on
us
the presidential
give us
side.
your closing remarks.
Let's attempt to unite this country and move forward, and kuunga mkono to whoever is determined to be the rightful candidate that won fairly and squarely. We don't know what the outcome of the court is going to be, but suffice to say that our democracy is worth championing for, that we all have to be inclusive and to live in peace in this democracy, and let us respect the institutions to the extent that justice is our shield and defender. Thank you
Benji
very much.
Ndolo is the founder director of the Organization for National Empowerment. I'm going to give you just 1 minute, Dr. David Matsanga, to give your closing remark.
I just want to thank the Capital FM for hosting me. I've said it in the last 5 years. Thank you very much. I think this must be my last show because I want to move to another engagement somewhere else. I have stated, vindicated, and I want to say another thing. When you talk about what makes an election illegal, I think you must look at the real fingerprint. What we are going to look at is the fingerprint. The one you put there, is it the one there? That's what they will do. But otherwise, other than that, Kenyans, please, reconcile, heal, move on, and work together as brothers and sisters. This is your nation. Don't go to the streets. Accept the verdict of the court. If it's a real one, yes, it will be seen who will win. But please, don't fight each other because of an election. There is other work to be done. Surely, I have said that. Don't become, the normal saying narrative which I always use, don't be like white farmers of Zimbabwe who say they are the only ones who were produced on earth by God to dig the farms, and the black ones don't.
Now, here's the man who's holding brief for Robert Mugabe. I'm not going to let you go there.
Okay.
Dr. Matsanga, give us a hint. Where are you going?
State House, perhaps?
I think I have just made my mind that I, as a media analyst for big organization in Africa, I will move on. I have my consultancy within Nairobi. I've created some employment for people of Kenya, and my offices are still here. But I am not going to take any active. The only thing I'm going to do on Tuesday is to file a perjury case against Besuda and Ekaterina and Ocampo. You will see it on the papers on Wednesday. And I seek compensation because I have been hurt. For 1 year, my contracts have been cut because they said I tampered with a witness, which was a fake witness. Now, the court itself has found a fake witness. So I need some compensation here so that maybe we meet in Johannesburg and I give you whatever you, at least you enjoy some money from the ICC.
So you move into South Africa?
In that case,
Yes.
we wish you all the very best, Dr. David Matsanga, as you move on into your next other endeavors. But we'll be calling you once in a while to
Yes.
make some
Thank you very
couple
much.
of comments on the ICC, and we'll do a phone interview. Oh, no, we can,
And I would
we
like
can,
to
we
thank
can
you.
use Skype.
I would like also to thank Benji and tell him that I can continue to lecture political science on some of the issues that he doesn't know. Especially Benji did something when President Museveni came here. I was here. I was very happy with his activism.
Thank you, Savo.
This is going to end here. David Matsanga is an international conflict resolution expert. Dismas is raising his hand. He wants to say something. 30 seconds.
Yeah, but
One.
thanks a lot. For me, I think at the end of the day, whoever becomes president, if it's Mr. Raila Odinga or Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, they must treat the loser with respect and then create opportunities for every single Kenyan.
20 seconds. Thank you very much. You actually did very well. He's the Vice President for Sadiki East Africa. And also, of course, we also had Benji Ndolo. He's the Founder Director of the Organization for National Empowerment 1. My name is Eric Latif. Have a beautiful week ahead.